We're still doing this podcast, I guess.
Guess so.
Been a little bit of a hiatus. I thought it was done.
I don't know.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Score podcast, presented by The Northerner. I'm your co-host, Matthew Supinger. I'm joined once again with my co-host. What's your name again? Sorry, I forgot.
Alex is what they call me.
Alex
Perez.
Perez.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's been a minute, man. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Haven't had to say my name in a while, actually, so I almost forgot.
Yeah. What do you... So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know what other times you'd be just outwardly saying your name.
Especially the full name is kind of federal.
So, like,
Yeah.
are you guys NPCs when you're not on the show? Like, you're just not doing anything until the showtime?
Pretty much.
Yeah, just about. Holy...
As
What's going on there?
as sports editors for the Northerner,
Sure.
the only thing we do is type away like that.
Yeah. I don't really, truly exist outside of this studio or outside of that newsroom. I don't do much.
Same.
I read a lot of books.
Because this guy works at the library.
I do. Don't dox me, though. Don't dox me.
Okay.
I don't want the
Paparazzi.
paparazzi and all that. It just gets out of hand, you know?
Yeah.
So welcome back, everyone, to the Beyond the Score podcast. I know I said that, but I'm saying it again because we have Thanksgiving coming up soon. And I'm trying to be thankful. I'm not trying to be. I am thankful. This guy's not. I'm very thankful for you all. And I'm very thankful for Alex. And I'm very thankful for you, Colton. Colton, how have you been, man?
Been pretty good, you know. Just final semester has been one of these semesters of all time. So I've just been working through that, you know. And, of course, handling the paparazzi and all that. It's died. I will say it's died down since the show slowed down a bit. So you know, it's maybe is a little more vital to my popularity than I maybe previously thought. So
Man.
you know, it's been quite the time. And shout out Election Day for ruining that Norris Benchwarmers Beyond the Score
Yeah.
crossover. If you guys have ever seen that meme of was it Eli Apple or who was that trying to get into the Jets facility?
Eli Apple, yeah.
Yeah, it was Eli trying to get it couldn't get.
Jamal Adams.
I literally had that meme 3 times as I
That's
tried to get in the studio that day, and they decided to close Landrum for Election Day. So
Yeah.
it was
I
a
think-
show that never was, but we can still do it.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
they knew what, they knew that the, as the kids say, the aura
Yeah.
that would have been made from that podcast probably would have blown the roof off this place.
Yeah, it would have turned NKU into a Power 5 school if we would have done that.
Cooper Flag would have wanted to transfer here. Not
For
that
sure.
we want him here.
Mid-season.
Yeah, we don't need him.
Cooper Flag sucks. Not biased either.
No,
Not saying
no,
that.
no.
I'm sure no bias there.
No. But we got quite the rundown for you all. College basketball is here. It's back, I want to say, but we're a couple weeks into the season now. And it's pretty fun. On campus, it has been fun.
It is
I wanna
fun,
say
yeah.
that. We're going to talk some college football again, talk some NFL again. Nothing too crazy in the NFL. I think everybody's team is doing pretty good. Talk about the NBA some, talk about everyone's favorite teams, you know, how they're doing, some of the winners, some of the losers. I think some of us are having pretty good seasons right now, especially in the NBA. How's the Lakers doing?
Still undefeated.
Yeah, that's bullshit. So, and then we're going to talk some more college basketball, and then we're going to talk, of course, everyone's favorite segment. I think this is what people have really been missing.
Yeah.
Is the post-game presser. Would you agree?
2 weeks without it, it's too long.
No. Yeah. Some may say they were fiending over it.
Some.
I wouldn't, but I did miss it. So I don't want you to get confused. But we're going to start talking about some NKU sports. Men's basketball, not the start that they were wanting. 0-4, just lost. And if you haven't checked out the article yet on the Northerner, make sure you go check that out. About the loss to nationally 18th ranked University of Cincinnati Bearcats on the Northerner, written by me and Alex. Go check that out. But 0-4 to start the season. Sam had a pretty good game
Yeah.
against UC. Trey Robinson has kind of started to, I don't even want to say break out, but he's just really emerged as even more of a leader this season, as he has, you know, year by year.
Yeah.
What have you kind of seen maybe that has looked really good in these first 4 games, or things that, you know, still needs to be ironed out?
I feel like, as you mentioned, Trey has been good. I feel like all the injuries from last season really helped him to come into this leader role where he can be the top guy if he needs to be on some nights. But like you mentioned, it's really good to see Sam Vincent be aggressive. He was definitely aggressive to start the game against Cincinnati, and Darren Horn. It was kind of nice being on the floor because every time Sam would get the ball, I heard Darren Horn say they can't guard you. And he was honestly pretty true.
He was right.
He was putting it in the basket pretty much every time. The defense in the second half obviously wasn't the greatest. That's something that we could definitely clean up. I don't know if that's a endurance thing, just being ready, or just motivation. But another thing, looking at the Nichols game, the rebounding, I think that's the only game we've been out rebounded, but it's such a peculiar game to be out rebounded in my opinion. 23-5 on the offensive rebound, so that was hard to see, but we could definitely trend in the right direction. 0-4 looks bad, but 3 of those were power 4, power 5, whatever you want to call it, schools. And then I feel like just a peculiar game against Nichols. So we're definitely trending in the right direction, especially after being competitive against UC, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It's been, Coach talked about, at Media Day about how this schedule, he is happy to be playing this competition early, but it is definitely not the start to the season that he would want,
right?
Because, you're starting out against Florida State, which while they're unranked, they always have a heck of a team down there. Always going to compete. Purdue, they go there and they just, the guard play was just elite from Purdue. And then UC, the same thing. They guard play in the second half. Shooting in the second half really in general was absurd. What did they shoot? 73% in the second half?
Yeah.
Wild.
And like 6 of 9 from 3. That's bad.
Not a great second half. Talking some women's basketball though, 2-2. That's great. That's way better than they were at this point last year.
That's true.
Coach Hand's first couple of wins, that he's been able to get. Got one against Marshall a couple weeks ago. Got one against Cedarville that we were broadcasting.
For the Northerner.
It was definitely on.
Yeah.
Don't want to say it sounded phenomenal.
Yeah, if anybody was listening to the audio, won't happen again, we promise. We're dedicated to being better. We'll be better.
Yeah, we'll be better. But last game probably not so good.
Not great.
Very, very big blown lead to Toledo. But the offenses looked good. Blevins has played, up to the, if not surpassing the standard that, the Horizon League dubbed upon her at the beginning of the season. Idowu has looked amazing. She's probably been, if not the best player on the team, top 3 for sure on both ends of the court. But what have you kind of seen in that team and with this whole, change in the season?
I think that game at Toledo was pretty indicative of how the season's gone so far. Like you said, Hallie Idowu has been, I think, a top 2 player, if not the top player. I feel like it's her and Macy on any given night. And she had 18 in her return to her hometown. She's from Toledo, so her family showed out. So that was good to see that she had a good game there. But Blevins, again, been consistently impressive. Over 20 points in, I think, all 4 games. So that's been really good to see. Meredith's first game with double digits. So it's good to see her healthy and playing at her best. Just a little confusing how we lost to Toledo, though.
Yeah.
Shot 50% overall, 62% from 3, and still lost. Led by 14 in the second quarter. And it was kind of like Marshall, because at Marshall we led by 14 at, I think it was halftime, and they came all the way back. Luckily, Macy Blevins saved us and hit that game winner. That was pretty clutch. But the one thing that stuck out to me the most, I feel like, from this game is obviously we've been consistently great in the paint, even though we're undersized, which is very impressive. We outscored them 44-28 in this game in the paint. But that only resulted in 11 free throws compared to Toledo's 28. So I feel like that discrepancy in paint points does not really measure up with the free throw numbers. So that's odd to me, but that's the only thing that really doesn't make sense out of this game.
You calling out the refs?
Maybe a little bit.
We're going to get fined.
Might have been some home cooking.
We might get fined.
That's all right.
You good pocketing that?
I mean, yeah. The money we get paid by the Northerner is great. So
that's real. That is very real. Moving on now. Women's volleyball season ended this past Saturday. In a match against IU Indy, needed to win in straight sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and second set is a close one. All the sets were pretty close for the most part. Hard fought. Crowd was loud. We could have been skewed a little bit because we were sitting right in front of the band and a lot of students.
Yeah.
And they were very loud. But it seemed like, the crowd showed out pretty well. It was senior day. They honored Joy Banks and Sifke and Torrey Houston. So that was really cool to see them all, kind of get their jerseys and stuff like that. But what did you kind of see in that 5-set match?
Well, going back to the day before that made them go to have to win in straight sets to make the tournament. They lost 3-0 the day before, but it wasn't as big of a blowout as it looked because it was a 33-31 win in set 1, 26-24 in set 2, and then 25-20 in set 3. So just more occasions of the team being young and not really ready for those close moments where it's extra points. But the freshmen, Sydney Bray and Allison Risley, led with 10 kills. And then in the game that we needed to win in straight sets in order to make the tournament, played well, like we said, but just went down to won the first set 25-20, then went down 7 in the second. Got it to 2, but just weren't able to get over that hump because of some service errors and stuff. Tied 20-20 in the third set, went on a 5-1 run in IU Indy's favor. Then we won set 4, but set 5 was pretty much all IU Indy, and that's just another moment of not being able to come up in the biggest moments because they weren't really close in that fifth set. It seemed like ever. It was 7-3, and then they kept that separation, it seemed like, but Banks double-double ending like she consistently did all season. Houston, 25 assists and 8 digs, and then Sifke with 3 block assists, 4 digs, and 4 kills, stuffing the stat sheet like she always does. So it was good that the seniors were able to at least compete no matter what the result of the season was and really show out in their last game.
Yeah, good season for them. Well, probably not up to the standards that they were wanting, but It was a very fun season to watch, getting these marquee matchups in Regents. Regents looked great.
Yeah.
As, expected. But, it was a fun season. Moving on now, college football. Favorite game of the week. It was I would say a slightly underrated week. Nothing too crazy.
Right.
But they were good games.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite?
I would say Wisconsin and Oregon. Wisconsin able to keep it low scoring, which I would say Oregon's not used to. 10-6 at half, and then 13-6 lead for Wisconsin in the third quarter. But Oregon able to finally muster up some points there in that fourth quarter. Got the 10 that they needed to take the win. Dylan Gabriel, 22 of 31, 218 yards, and then held Wisconsin to 96 yards passing on 12-28 passing. So that was really the difference in the game. It was quarterback play. It was pretty much even everywhere else. It was just a great game to watch, honestly. What was yours?
My favorite was SMU versus Boston College. I caught the fourth quarter of that game. Didn't get to watch the whole game. Got the fourth quarter of that game. SMU ended up winning 38-28, but Boston College had a drive that they could have put together to possibly take the lead, and the quarterback just could not get the ball out of his hands. Not even taking shots downfield on any of the plays that they had. Kevin Jennings, I don't know if you guys have watched any SMU. Fun team to watch. Very fun team to watch. They remind me a lot of, remember Kansas a couple years ago when they kind of started out pretty good? Remind me a little bit of them.
Okay.
Team that kind of, comes out of the water and impresses more than people would expect. But quarterback Kevin Jennings goes 24-35, 298, 3 touchdowns in the air and a pick. Running back Brashard Smith had 18 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown. SMU only outgained Boston College by 21 yards, 438 to 417, and wouldn't have outgained them had they not have gotten that ball back after the turnover on downs that Boston College had, and then SMU scored another touchdown to make it 10-point lead in the final score. Boston College, though, 3 of 6 on fourth down. Not that they converted the one that they needed to at the end, but they did play pretty well on fourth down. So, that was my favorite game of the week. Colton, did you have a favorite?
I did. I love that SMU take, though. I've only watched one game, but I love the story with Jennings being the backup quarterback coming in. I think their starter got hurt, if I remember correctly, and then he he got the start and then looked better, so they just stuck with him. But I mean, this team is a team that if the conference championship started this week, they would be playing Miami in the ACC championship, and I think they could absolutely give the Hurricanes everything they got. So that'd be an exciting game. And their only loss is to BYU, who until this week, and that's also my favorite game of the week, was against Kansas. Kansas on the road. You mentioned Kansas. Well, a lot of tie-ins here.
Yeah, very much.
But Kansas having a down year, they go into BYU and get the win. I watched this game till about 1:30 in the morning was how late that thing ran. And BYU all season long has had this sort of magic about them where they have a lot of close games that they just came out on top. I mean, Utah fans will tell you to the end of time they should have won that game the week prior. And it felt like in this game, as the announcer said, this is the game. It feels like the luck has ran out for BYU. And on the bench warmers, we talked about, I think they could end up having 2 losses after this week playing dang it, it's not coming to mind here, but I'll figure that out. But this game was really fun. It was fun to see Jalen Daniels, right, or something.
Jalen, yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels. Always got him and Jaden mixed up last year. A team that had a lot of expectations going in. They started the season ranked, did not live up to expectations, but are now a problem for any Big 12 team that has to face them here in these last 2 weeks. It's a shame we didn't get to see their full potential. I know there were some injuries involved in that, but it was a fun late night matchup there, and BYU.
Yeah, BYU was they've been quite the interesting team to watch this year.
For sure.
Had a lot of ups and downs. What was your most surprising game?
Well, not to harp on it too much since Colton just brought it up, but I would say Kansas beating BYU, going into BYU 3-6 and beating an undefeated BYU team. Very impressive. I really thought if Kansas was going to win, the difference would be Jalen Daniels, but he was only 12 for 19, 169 yards, and no touchdowns. So it was just a strange game, but it was very cool to see Kansas still have that excitement like they did a couple years ago, like you mentioned. But BYU, 2 turnovers, sure, but they had more rushing yards and passing yards. So this is a game I feel like BYU still should have won. So I'm just confused how they let this one slip away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with, and I wouldn't even say it's as much a surprising game as it is just kind of something to circle and remember.
Mm-hmm.
Texas beating Arkansas 20-10. They got a huge first half lead and then just kind of, they obviously, it's not like they just got lucky and won, but didn't play too well. Ewers only had 176. I know Arkansas has, they beat, was it Tennessee earlier this year?
Mm-hmm.
Beat Tennessee earlier this year. They have what it takes to, be a problem team in the SEC. But the biggest difference is Texas running for 139 yards. They go 2 for 2 on 4th down. But there could be something to remember because Texas obviously loses to Georgia big time. Their only other marquee win, I would say, has been beating Michigan early in the season when we now know what Michigan looks like. We now know what they actually are as a team.
Their best win may very well be Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's I forgot about that one. Yeah, and so it's going to be something to watch and see how it kind of goes going into this college football playoffs because this is not. It's not just going to be top 4 teams. It's going to be 12 teams that are all going to have a target pointed directly at you. Colton, what was your most surprising game?
My most surprising game ties in with the BYU. That's who BYU is facing this week, Arizona State. They knocked off Kansas State at home, went out to a very early lead. There was an interception thrown early. I just watched the highlights. So, but this Arizona State team has kind of been sitting around this entire time. Only 2 losses on the year, and assuming they went out, they will be facing BYU, but they have to beat BYU this week. So, they'll either face BYU or Colorado. So that Big 12 is insane right now. The whole situation. The SEC is even more insane. If Texas ends up dropping a game potentially to Texas A&M, we might have like 6 different 2-loss teams or something like that. Like how do you even work out that conference championship? But yeah, definitely my most surprising was Arizona State going into Kansas State, a team I was pretty high on and very high on their quarterback Johnson, and I think they might be a team that nobody saw really coming. Their running back is incredible. I'm pulling up his name right now. Skidaboo. Garrett told me how to say it.
I think it's
yesterday.
Scatabo.
Scatabo, that's what it is. Yeah, Scatabo. And he's a dog. And I'm also, if you want to talk about next week, excited to see how they perform against BYU.
That was great analysis.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I meant to give out shout out to both Kevin Zeitler. Oops.
Yep.
And,
been trying to replace him for 7 years.
Mr. Potato Man. Can't forget him.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on now, the NFL. What was your biggest takeaway from this week, Alex?
2 main things.
Okay.
Chris Boswell is the best kicker in the league.
Okay.
Garrett would agree.
And
24 fantasy points.
Pittsburgh is Super Bowl bound.
Okay.
We have
Super Bowl
solved
bound, not even contenders. Bound.
yeah.
Okay.
We have solved major problems. Couldn't score. Pittsburgh has scored in 22 straight quarters now. The defense has been questionable besides the pass rush. But the Ravens, who came in with leading in points per game at almost 32, ended up with 16. I don't know if you're able to do that math. That's half. They averaged 444 yards total, only got 320. Convert almost 50% of third downs, but only 33% against Pittsburgh. So the defense is figured out. The offense is figured out. What else can go wrong? Even with a wide receiver room that is very questionable, still getting these wins. One other takeaway I had, Todd Monken may lose the Ravens a chance at the Super Bowl. What is he doing? 13 carries for Derrick Henry. I mean, he's okay. I feel like he should get a couple more runs than that, maybe.
Probably.
0 in the fourth quarter. 0. Not even on the field for the 2-point conversion that could possibly tie up the game. We have to take a serious look at Todd Monken and what he's doing to sabotage this team. I'm not mad about it, but it's questionable at best.
Yeah, I've heard rumors are spreading that your best players are supposed to be on the field in crunch time.
Mm-hmm. That's what they say.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but also I just want to highlight Pittsburgh is Super Bowl bound. Is now on the board, Kevin Zeitler board, with Mr. Potato Man. I did quote you.
Okay.
So
Come back to that.
Yep.
Later date.
Did you put a sports editor, Alex Perez, on there, or did you?
Just put Alex Perez.
Okay.
We're on a name basis. I'm not calling you by your position,
Anyways.
bro.
You know, that's a great idea. Can you write one for best offensive league Cleveland Browns with the Ben Miller quote next to it while you're
Yeah.
Best what?
Offense in the league.
Best off. They could be the best offense in the league. I believe was his exact quote. But
Okay.
They look like it for one
you
week.
could
I
just-
tell you
could
what.
Just take out the maybe. You could just put. Best
Yeah, I'm
offense in
putting
the league.
best offense in the league, Ben Miller.
Mhm. Can't wait till he walks in and sees that.
So, Matt, your takeaways from week 11?
I'm right now. Can you hold on?
Colton, you want to have some takeaways?
I gotcha. I found this Bears-Packers game to be quite interesting. The 20-19 finish. 2019 was a pretty good year. The year after, when you compare it to the year after, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Years, moments before disaster.
yeah, we had the Caleb Williams comeback drive, and all we needed was a field goal to seal the deal, and the field goal gets blocked, and the Packers win the game, and now the Bears are 4-6. The defense definitely struggled in recent weeks, and that's been the main reason why. And the offensive line, don't even get me started on that. Do they even have one? And but all in all, cannot put any blame on Caleb Williams as a guy who was definitely low on him coming in, lower than other people. He's definitely shown the flashes, and I'll definitely go back on my word on that. But it's a team around him that's holding them back for sure. And they were a team that there was a time where all the NFC North was in the playoff picture, and now they have fallen out of that in the NFC. It's not like the AFC where the Bengals were 4-6 and they were just a game out of it. It's the NFC where it's kind of a buzzsaw right now. There are teams going up and down as the season goes on. I'm kind of curious to see how the Vikings end up, but yeah, I mean, that was a very key game that the Bears very well could have and should have won. And Jordan Love kind of is starting to remind me, I think Josh is the one that kind of put this idea in my head of like, he's kind of reminding me of Josh Allen, just kind of gunslinging it out there. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it's headed the other way. So
Funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, I was pretty much done.
All right. If it's funny you mentioned that because I feel like I didn't take an in-depth look at the stats. Sorry, I'm not quite like you yet, Alex. I'm not.
We
on
didn't even
that
know if
game
the
yet.
show was. You didn't even know if the show was going on at this point. You know.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
plenty of years to get like me, so.
Appreciate you. But it is kind of funny that you mentioned that because I've been thinking about lately, like, you saw how he looked in that game against Philly, beginning of the year.
Yep.
We talked about his contract in one of the first episodes of the show and about how it was kind of not impossible to point out a flaw, but it's like he plays efficient, you know? In his first year as a starter, he played efficient. It wasn't like he was just letting it rip wherever. It's almost like, and I'm not saying the injuries, led to this, but you got to wonder ever since he came back, he has, he's just been slinging the ball wherever he wants to. And it's like, hey, well, I'm going to launch it, 50 yards. If it gets caught, cool. I hope it's by my team. So it is funny that you mentioned that. I've been thinking similar thing.
Yeah, it's not what I really expected from Jordan Love going into the season. Like, I knew he could throw the ball very well, but I never really saw him as the gunslinger. And it works. It works at times. It doesn't at others, and that's the thing with Josh Allen. But sorry, Alex, I cut you off.
No, you're good. Just before we get to your takeaways, Matt, going back to the end of that game, do we feel the whole you can't jump on the center for field goals is being called fairly and evenly? Because I don't think it is.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Glad we
I
agree.
I forgot to mention that part.
Yeah.
Now, you guys remember when Cam Chancellor jumped over a player to block a field goal?
Yeah.
That's a cool highlight. I remember that one.
That's a really cool guy. Troy Polamalu used to do it all the time, but
Who?
he used to play for a decent team. Anyways,
When was that? Like the 80s?
takeaways? Yeah, back when I was in high school.
Anyways, my takeaways. You might actually like this. I think the Bills are not that this is surprising. Bills are obviously very legitimate, and I think Josh Allen right now is right up there. Maybe not right up there, but he is very close to that MVP. He plays like that with the team, puts the team on his back, has 262 in the air, 55 on the ground, a clutch play to seal it against this 9-0 fraud team. But the Steelers, I was also going to say the Steelers are legit. They are.
Thank you.
After that week, I tip my cap to you all.
Put the team together myself, so I really appreciate that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that why their wide receiver room sucks?
Yeah.
Did you forget?
Didn't really think
position?
about that. Yeah.
God, it's understandable. Sometimes it happens in Madden.
Hey, it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that point about the Josh Allen MVP, though. I mean, that was a dark horse take I had at the start of the year, and it's becoming the reality. I think he's the odds favorite as of right now, and this Chiefs win really solidified it. That was also minus his 2 red zone targets in Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid. So having to change that game plan against a typically really tough Steve Spagnuolo defense, that's impressive. And if they can just win out, if the Chiefs drop another game, they have the tiebreaker, and we could see a Bills with a bye. But yeah, we know how the Chiefs go. It's just
Chiefs
a coin
are
flip.
Yeah, Chiefs are 9-1. Chargers are, I believe, 7-3.
Yes.
It's a close division, closer than I think people want to admit. But we know how that magic works in Kansas City. We're on to you, Kansas City. If Patrick Mahomes is watching this, did you guys hear his house got burglarized?
Him and Travis Kelce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys do it?
Whoa.
Not me.
Whoa. Hey, now. We might have been on a break from beyond the score and all that, but, I was...
You got the beanie on. I didn't know if... Pull it down some. See if...
Our team isn't scared of the Chiefs, but, I mean, maybe you're all
Scared of the Chiefs?
All right.
wanted to...
We'll
funny.
see if
That's
that
cute.
changes when you have to go to Burrowhead. Or wait, why did I say Burrowhead? Arrowhead. It's not. It's far from Burrowhead anymore.
this guy.
It may be...
What's that record?
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's far from Burrowhead. I was out of habit. I'm still breaking that habit.
That's a good one, man. Door's right there. You can go ahead and leave.
speaking of the Chargers, what's next on the rundown?
Favorite game? Oh!
Uh-oh.
Get on out of here, buddy.
Walk on out of the Good one.
Chat, cut that one, chat. I already talked about my favorite game, kind of. The Bills versus Chiefs. Mahomes finally loses after sucking. 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. What are you, Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Got him. Yeah, that's my game of the week. I already talked about that. What's yours?
That was mine too, honestly.
Cool, nice. Thanks for copying my notes.
All right, I can give a different opinion here.
Okay,
yeah,
go
let's
for
hear
it.
your expert.
I got
expertise.
the Seahawks and Niners. That was a very close game. This NFC North is something to talk about. The Cardinals currently lead it at 6-4. If they beat the
West.
What I said North.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my bad. It's also a very fun one, but the NFC West is quite interesting as well because they play the Cardinals play the Seahawks at the 12th man this weekend, and then the Rams are still within striking distance. The Niners are at 5-5, but they're playing the Packers this week. So by all means, if Arizona takes care of business, they I believe have a 2-game lead over the division, and if they can hold out, they could win the NFC. It's literally the opposite of what the list I had in the preseason was, but this game was won by the Seahawks and Niners game was won by a Geno Smith 13-yard rushing touchdown to seal the deal. That was on nobody's bingo cards this year, I would assume, but shout out to that one. Another one I do want to point out, Bo Nix and the Broncos.
Oh yeah.
How about those guys? I mean, absolutely throttling the Falcons so bad that the Michael Penix had to come in and play for Kirko. So, hey, what you making eyes about over there? But Bo Nix, if you look at the stats, he's low key kind of emerging as that second Rookie of the Year candidate behind Jaden Daniels. And if Jaden Daniels has a couple weeks off, and it's like Jaden Daniels is just kind of stagnated as a great quarterback. Do not get me wrong. But Bo Nix just gets better every week, so we don't really know what that ceiling looks like. With a great defense, Broncos kind of tough.
Yep.
I mean, the last time they had a
Let's ride.
good defense, it went pretty well.
That is true.
And a quarterback who couldn't throw the ball, but I feel like Bo Nix can throw it a little better.
You think?
What?
You think he can throw it better than, what was it, 40-year-old Peyton Manning?
Think so, yeah.
Okay. Hot take, I guess.
Write that one on the sticky note.
Yeah. Moving on now to the NBA.
I think you skipped something.
No, surely
I don't
not.
see anything on there.
No.
So the Bengals are 4-7 after a loss to the Chargers.
Who?
Yeah.
The Bungles, really should say.
Oh, good
the
one,
Bungles.
good one, good one.
Yeah.
Right.
Good,
That
nice.
franchise.
Yeah.
So let me just run you through the bad things before I talk about the
Yeah,
I
good.
think it's all good. I think we've been watching the games.
Yeah.
155 yards rushing allowed, 8 penalties for 56 yards. T had 148 yards, didn't matter. Lad McConkey, 123 yards receiving for the Chargers. Now let me get to the good thing. Oh, wait.
Oh, I think you're forgetting
We made
the
the
best
Super Bowl.
quarterback in football right now.
3 years ago.
That's true. Where has that gotten you?
Well, maybe if Evan McPherson could make a single
Yeah.
kick. Do you know how
That guy
embarrassing?
kicks like me.
Clip that one.
I feel like you would have a little more momentum with your wheels.
real.
So I think you might have a better shot.
Can we get a sports science thing on this?
Yeah,
We
I
should.
think we need to. We need to call those people and
Yeah.
get a sports science going. But
So I'm fine with the Bengals staying like this for the rest of eternity and like they're used to. But what do you all see for the next step for the Bengals?
Do you guys remember that tweet that, or it was a Reddit post that went really viral? This is not a thread either. That went really viral, and it was like, what if the Nets, there was like a huge plane crash, and then they had to do like there's like a plan in place that you can like basically do like a expansion draft, but you're not expanding, you're just pulling people from around the league.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that one?
oh yeah,
Sure, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna sound like
I
a
know
psycho
the
if you don't.
preface. I don't know
Okay.
if it's the Nets, but
They should be the Nets because their team's butt cheeks. But yeah, I think that. No, I'm just kidding. The team is really good, not the defense.
Don't sleep on Cam Thomas.
Yeah, that's true. My bad.
I mean, that's about it. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You got a GM, Duke Tobin. See you, man. Get ready to learn Taiwanese football, I guess. Zach Taylor. I'm sure there's probably a McDonald's in the area hiring. I hope you can flip burgers pretty well,
I think
man.
he was in like a Kroger commercial once or Skyline commercial. I bet they're hiring. He has a connection there already. So
Yeah, but they might even watch the games and be like, do we really want this guy managing anything
Yeah,
here?
yeah. He'll probably want to like move maybe to Canada.
Yeah.
Canada might. They're nice people over there. He could find something. Tim Hortons or
Yeah.
they have McDonald's over there too. Like
Yeah. He'll get a job at Kroger, and they'll be like, we should probably like up the security system. We've been getting a lot of stuff stolen. He'll be like, no. Let's add more groceries. And they'll be like,
but our offense is great.
yeah, we don't need more groceries. The groceries are doing great. We need things to stop people from stealing them.
No.
Doesn't exist.
If you get more groceries, then there's less. No, that doesn't even. But that's how he thinks.
That is how he thinks, yeah.
There's not even like a way to explain it.
He'd make sure to get one really good grocery item that gets all the press, and then wouldn't worry about the rest.
Yeah. So yeah, next for the Bengals, you gotta Lou, he's gone. Zach gone. Duke gone. Dan Pitcher, I really don't know, because we're going off half a year so far in which Joe has looked phenomenal. MVP if we had a winning team, by far. And so I don't know if you could really be like, oh, Dan Pitcher, like, you can't really tell if this is Dan Pitcher's offense or if this is just, the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. Defense, there's maybe 4 people that you keep. DJ Turner, obviously, he's been playing pretty decent this year. Got hurt, of course.
It's unfortunate.
Trey Hendrickson, one of the best defensive ends in football, top 3 for sure. Got to keep him around. BJ Hill, I'd keep him around because he is the only interior, presence we have, and he is good. I mean, he is a good football player. Yeah.
I have a tweet for y'all that I saw. It was somebody asked Joe Goodberry, I think is his name. Asked him, who's your top 5 Bengals players? And then, of course, he does it per PFF, Pro Football Focus. So not exact, but according to their metrics or whatnot, the top 5 Bengals players: Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Trey Hendrickson, and Mike Hilton.
Oh, dude, totally slipped my mind.
Steelers legend.
Yeah. Mike Hilton is definitely a guy to keep around.
And I think DJ Turner was like 6th or 7th or it was something like that. But yeah, it's just a cliff, man. You're up here, and then Mike Hilton's been doing pretty good as of recent. He had a rough start, but
yeah.
I don't even have any more than that. That's our top 5 players, and it's a bye week. We'll probably find a way to lose that too.
Yep. I really hope, for childish reasons, I think it would be funny for us to lose another game like this. And first of all, I don't think Joe should even play the rest of the season, because we're 10 games into the year. Don't play the rest of the year. You're wasting it.
Yep.
Even you could go out there and throw for 9,900 yards in a game. You're still not going to win, because they're going to let up 100,000.
Or when the defense finally looks decent in the second half, Evan McPherson will just be like, "What's a kick again?" Yeah,
he's having a kid. I believe he's either having a kid or had a kid. Dad's strength isn't looking too good. He is
tough.
Not good. Do you know how embarrassing it is to have a 50-yard field goal set up? You don't. So don't need to hear it from you. Don't need to hear it.
Go ahead, though.
Have a 50-yard field goal, and your coach, moron, even has to be like, "Nah, bro, you suck. We're punting it." I have more belief in our, New York railway defense system than I do in your, no-foot kicking.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, it could be a 70-yarder, and Tomlin's like, send him out there.
Yeah. So that's all I have on the Bengals.
More than happy to talk about any other sport than football.
Yeah. Basketball is fun.
It's a good time. It's a good time in the NFL.
How's your guys' NBA teams doing?
I'm glad you asked. The Lakers, 3rd in the West.
If you say, are you really?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't even do my research.
Check the stats, buddy. 10-4, 80 averaging 30 points per game. That's 2nd.
Dang.
11 rebounds per game. That's 7th. and 57% from the field. That's top 15. And then we got
Hey,
this guy
respect,
at pick 17. His name's Dalton Connect. Apparently he's too old for the league. He just dropped 37 points.
Yep.
The most points by a rookie this season, and the most points by LeBron teammate that's been a rookie ever. So that's cool that he finally has some help. And speaking of LeBron James, the best player to ever live, he had 4 straight triple doubles at 40. The man is going to be 40-year-old in about 35 minutes. So
35 minutes.
Give or take.
I think you're getting the time wrong.
Give or take. So the Lakers are looking pretty good. As I mentioned before, J.J. Redick is Pat Riley. And we're NBA Finals bound. So my teams are looking pretty good this year. 37 last game. He sure did not. I did. That was good to see. That was good to see. Yeah.
At least one of them's really good. How are the Pacers?
I thought you wanted to talk basketball. Don't know why you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, great record.
Some 40-year-olds. Some 40-year-olds.
Do you have to watch him on meth streams like Adam Schefter? Nice.
And he does that completely legally as well.
Of course. Yeah. Devastating news.
Bandwagon.
All right, bro. Calling me a bandwagon. You get this guy out of here. You from LA?
I have connections.
Yeah, right.
Are you from? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Are you now?
Yeah.
I thought it was Minnesota.
No, I'm not from Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Just family. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Family friends.
Talk about your team or whatever.
So we are. Where are you guys in the West? Just curious.
Third.
That's funny. Oh, we're third. First, buddy.
Cool,
Who
bro.
knew?
Cool, bro.
Unfortunately, DeAnthony Melton. Everyone take a moment of silence. He's out for the season. He's out for the season, which does kind of suck because he's been pretty solid for us this year. Offense, third in the league. 3-point percentage, third. Offensive boards per game, fourth. Rebounds, second. Assists, first. Third steals. Blocks, seventh. And we are fifth in opponent points per game. We've beaten the Celtics. Because I remember last time you said we haven't actually beaten anyone. Mm-hmm. That's what you said, right?
I did say that.
Cool. We beat the Celtics. Did you guys beat the Celtics? Have you played them yet?
I don't think we've played them yet.
Got them. Thunder. We beat them. Did you guys play them yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Got them.
Hey, we beat the Celtics.
Oh, you're 6-9. We also beat the Mavericks. Did you guys play the Mavericks yet?
Sure.
Yeah, got them. We did beat the Grizzlies. Not that that's really anything to brag about. And then beat Atlanta by 23. Not really anything.
So that's fine in the West. Anyways. Go ahead.
What's that supposed to mean?
Never mind.
No, go ahead and say it with your chest.
He was referencing the Ja Morant.
Oh, that's yeah. I forgot about that because they suck.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're not fine in the West.
Yeah, they're not fine in the West.
Yeah.
No one's fine in the West. Let's be real here. We are 6-2 on the road. Buddy's shooting 45% from three, averaging 16.5. Draymond, I don't want to say offensive player of the year if there was one, but offensive player of the year. You heard it here.
Okay.
He's
Somebody
averaging,
definitely write that on a post.
he's averaging a steal and a block per game. He's still, best defender we got on the team. What do you think he's shooting from three? What do you guys think?
Draymond?
Yeah.
2.
All right.
No,
Cole?
give me probably a stark 22%.
Oh, well, you are closer than Alex. 42%.
Was he taking
Right,
2?
3. But he's shown up when he needs to from 3. Kuminga's averaging nearly 14 points in 23 minutes. And Steph Curry, you guys ever heard of him? Yeah, of course you have. He's the greatest shooter in the world ever. 23 on nearly 50% shooting from the field, 45% from 3, 95% from the line. Oh, and also he's averaging 1.8 steals per game. So, yeah, doing good. Doing pretty good.
Just can't wait for that Buddy Hield to fall off that happens in the middle of the season.
That's funny. I'm excited for the Pacers fall off. That
Or-
happens every year, ever.
Or
It happened
like,
last year. But we already
Sure,
fell
yeah.
off, so you already missed the train for that. So
The peak is on the way.
when the defense starts come playoff time, because I don't know if I mentioned any. I don't know if I heard any defense stats in there, but
I did.
Hey, he said blocks.
Okay.
Third in steals, 7th in blocks. And I said
Blocking for y'all.
we are, 5th in opponents' points per game. Oh, I didn't hear any defensive stats. You listening?
no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, my team's doing all right. No, first in the West.
Speaking of the West, though, I have the standings put up. Would you boys like to? I don't have to list them all, but
It's
just,
wild.
Just the fact that 11 of the teams are above 500 in the West. The Kings are at the bottom there at 8-7. The Grizzlies, we mentioned, not too fine, but a fine record of 9-7. The Timberwolves are just above 500, 8-6. The Nuggets have turned it around, but I think the more fun place to look at is the East, because 4 teams are above 500 in the East right now, and look who's in 6th place. I just feels weird to say, but the Detroit Pistons.
Let's
Hey.
go. Wingstop for everybody.
Wingstop for everybody. Find themselves 6th place in the East. And then if you look at the bottom here, who do you think's at the bottom?
Bottom of the East?
I know who's at the bottom.
Yes.
Do you know who's at the bottom?
Oh, Philly.
Yeah.
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 2-12 Philly. With Paul George back, with Joel Embiid back these last 2 or 3 games, to my knowledge. Did you just give one of these for Joel Embiid?
Oh, I'm Joel Embiid, and I cry all the time and flop at the free throw line when I'm shooting a free throw.
Former MVP, but yeah.
Former MVP. You want to know what they said? Okay, take it.
You know what the difference between that last place Philly team and that 6th place Detroit team is, though?
What?
Tobias Harris. That's the Tobias Harris effect right there.
What do you guys know about Tobias Harris ball in Detroit? It's going to be an era I tell my kids about.
I have always spoke highly of Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Don't fact check me on that.
Don't check Twitter.
It's gonna, yeah. He's so good, and that's why the Pistons are thriving right now.
Yeah.
Right, of course. Bucks also have a 6-9 record. They're working their
Nice.
way back up.
Nice.
They were down there with Philly though for the while. They were 2-win buddies there for the longest time, but
I mean, they've had a pretty easy schedule over the last 5, I think, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
That helps, when you have talent like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard. That's really about it. Brooke Lopez. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, whoa.
My fault. Did not mean to disrespect the man. That's my fault. Splash Mountain.
But then they have to go against the defense of Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham, so
yeah. I mean,
it's
just
kinda like Tim
having to
does.
play with those guys is just like a whole different hurdle they have to jump through. But I feel bad. Gary Trent's fallen off. It's sad to see. He's basically the Malik Beasley of this year.
that's tough.
I remember thinking Gary Trent was pretty tough for a year. So what's been your guys' winner of the week?
For me, it definitely has to be the Cavs, 16-1. Of course, this is coming after their only loss of the season, but it was to Boston. I think that's okay. Colton, you were right. Kenny Atkinson was the answer for this team. They look great. Evan Mobley has hit a different level, which I really thought he was just kind of at his peak last year, but no, he's gotten even better. So I don't know if this holds up in the playoffs per se, but in the regular season, it looks really good right now.
Yeah, I'm on the same train.
I will say that the size and defense are two things that tend to translate in the playoffs. I just saw that. I saw that look over at Matt. But yeah, I've been higher than this team. I didn't really expect 15-0 to start the year, but hey, Kenny Axon shout out, and the offense looks better. I knew if you make D'Lo, which D'Lo isn't a player, if you make him look like
Hey.
in a couple years,
Wait a second.
he could have been like an All NBA at some point. I don't know, definitely an All Star with the Nets. I think you can make Donovan Mitchell look pretty tough, and that's exactly what he's done. I'm very, very pleased to be a fantasy owner of him, along with Ant, who's shooting a lot of threes. So, you know, the Spider Ants. That's her name. The Spider Ants.
That's pretty cold.
So,
It's me and Colton
yeah.
this week.
We playing this week?
I think so, aren't we?
I think we played last week.
Oh, just
'Cause
kidding.
I'm playing Ben Miller this week. Cause you know,
Yeah,
it
Colton,
really
Colton beat
changed.
me last week. Never mind.
Oh,
What's tough?
First win too. It's been a rough start, but we're so back. We're so back.
got a
We
victory speech?
We got Jared McCain. Yeah, he's dropping like 40 points a game right now. Big pickup on the waiver wire, but no, you know, we're 1-3. You know, job's not finished. We have a long way to go. We'll be back. We're already beating the doors off of Ben. So sorry, Ben, but win's a win. And yeah, let's go Evan Mobley, because he's another guy I have in. I think it's in that one. It's either that one or I have him in. I have two, so it meshes in my brain.
He knows so much ball.
Yeah.
There's just so much ball. It's just everywhere.
Yeah. What about loser of the week? You guys want to do a quick wrap around?
For me, it's the 76ers for sure.
Yep.
How do you get rid of Tobias Harris and get worse? Doesn't make
Paul George.
doesn't make sense to me. Last in the East at 2-12. Injury to Maxey, Paul George and Embiid. So like, looks bright. The future does. These next couple weeks for sure, at least. Jared McCain is the only bright spot on this team, and their only wins have come in overtime. They haven't even won a game in regulation yet against the Hornets and the Pacers.
Hear me out.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Tank. Get Cooper Flag. You have Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Paul George, Cooper Flag, and Joel Embiid.
That would be nasty.
That would be tough.
If they could stay healthy, of course.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't happen, but
Yeah.
it would look nasty in the offseason.
Yeah.
Matt, who is your biggest loser?
Also Philly.
Okay.
And they're also fighting in the locker room. And Joel Embiid's pooping his pants about it. Diaper baby. Oh, you guys are, the media is knowing things about our team. Whoa. That's what we do.
Yeah. Here, the Northerner.
Colton, who's your loser of the week? Probably Pacers.
I don't know how it's anybody but the Sixers. Let me try and think here. Pacers. Yeah. It's just the downward spiral of the Pacers season.
Respect. I respect the honesty.
That's about all I got. Pelicans. Oh, no, it's the Pelicans, dude. They are 4-12 right now. And like I said, 8 players played last night. That's all. They're already like, what, 3 weeks into the year? And they're looking like that one Lakers team that had like Robert Sacre.
Hey, chill.
Oh, yeah.
They were legends.
All right, Kendall Brown, the true legend right there.
2K legends.
Robert Sacre and like Ramon Sessions. It was all
One
vibes.
session was hard as a backup PG in 2K.
Yeah.
He was that spark off the bench that won me
Yeah,
a
he
couple
was.
NBA finals back in 2K, like what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
But,
The good days.
Those are one of the teams of all
Yeah.
time. Huh?
Definitely the days.
One of the teams of all time for sure.
We'll do a quick roundup. How's everybody's college basketball team doing?
Well, NKU not great, but
No.
my other one, I'm from Lexington. You know, not name dropping or anything, but Kentucky's doing pretty good. Started at 23, now at number 9, 4-0. Has a coach who knows X's and O's, so that's pretty cool. Didn't know that was possible. Big win against Duke and Cooper Flag.
Locked up.
team that can win, whether it's in the 70s or the 90s. This is the most fun Kentucky team I've seen in at least 5 years for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just really excited for this season. Matt, who's your team?
Kentucky.
Okay, cool.
I grew up a Kentucky fan. Yeah, I don't know. You said everything.
Not Ohio State.
My dad is from Ohio. He was an Ohio State fan. And Ohio State basketball sucks. I'm not being a fan of that shit. I go through enough being a Bengals fan.
They're pretty solid. They beat Texas. They beat Texas this year. Not bad.
That's gonna be my reaction if I don't have a response to anything from now on. So
I very much I love that reaction. I need to make sure I get that to you in time.
Yeah,
I think it definitely works well.
appreciate it.
I wish you guys would have asked me that question before Tuesday.
What happened Tuesday?
I was definitely riding high. We were nice and undefeated. Then we faced a team that plays defense. And yep.
What are you talking about? You guys
Hold
played
on.
NKU?
Yeah, I was supposed to say the Norse definitely play defense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they play defense. They sure play defense.
All right.
So to the Purdue expert, was it Jacobson his name that you all lost for the
Yeah, Daniel
year?
Jacobson.
How big is that loss?
Big, because Wilberg sucks.
Okay.
He, sorry to say it, but we found a 7-footer that really doesn't do what 7-footers should do, and our defense low key looks worse with him on the court, and I think that's definitely a big part is just adjusting around it. Our team looks better. Trey Kaufman-Renn against Alabama again. Defense is just a concept to them, and to be fair, Purdue doesn't really play the best defense either, so. I can't really comment on that, but I think it's definitely a huge loss. I think if Painter's starting a guy, especially a freshman his freshman year, he has a big plan for him. Look at Braden Smith, look at Fletcher Lawyer, and he looked like he was going to start out. He had 4 blocks or whatnot, not against the Norse, but the game before that. So it's a big loss. I think we will adjust. I don't think he was as pivotal to our game plan, but it's just going to take time. Hopefully, TKR starts a lot of games, but yeah. Shout out. Was that TJ's leg that got his?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out TJ's leg for ending that guy's season. Very very interesting facial expressions today over there, Matt.
Thanks. I've been. That's what I've been in the lab crafting up.
You've been crafting up.
That's why I've been off 2 weeks.
That's why I've been up for such a long time. Is I've been really, really working hard.
Working on
Yeah, we're done. Okay, moving on now. Colton, pop quiz. Do you remember what the segment's called?
Of course I do, guys. Post game presser. Come on now. I know it's been a while.
Let's go.
Didn't just look down at the rundown or anything.
Nice. You want to start or you want me to?
I can go. It's up to you.
Okay, yeah, go on.
All right.
Jeez.
You just pulled up here.
Oh, let me go first all the time.
So this one is from Josh Allen and the Bills facing the undefeated Chiefs. 4th and 2 late in the game. Josh Allen will get the snap eventually.
Oh yeah, no, I was just letting you set it up, you know.
And scrambles and picks up the first down and much more, and brings the boom on that like he's a Costco guy to get the touchdown and the 10-point lead to secure the victory against the fraudulent undefeated Chiefs. And it was just a great play, great to see. If I lose on a 29-yard Josh Allen scramble, I'd probably retire right there on the spot. I'm not going to lie to you.
Can you give us the accurate boom meter depiction of that play? With the sound effects and everything, looking into the camera.
I don't think I can.
Do it.
It's actually in my contract that I'm not allowed to promote that kind of thing. Anyways, yours? You ready for yours?
Yeah, let's cue this up. Mr. Ante Berzovic,
Okay.
College of Charleston. What a shot. Sorry, I filmed this on my potato from my house.
Nokia phone right here.
Pull up in double OT. Bang!
Hey!
Straight cash. He has been, I think he had 39 that game. I don't know, maybe I'm making that up, but I thought he had like an absurd amount. Dude is cash.
Bang!
And
I love the guy behind running. It's already celebrating. He just knows it's in.
Yeah.
Cold. That's a future NKU opponent right there, College of Charleston.
Yeah, we're going to get blown up by about 900.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
They definitely play offense over there.
Yeah, 116 points. Oh, I scored 116 points. Okay.
I
Big
wonder what the
whoop,
last
yeah.
time NKU scored 100 points was. Have to look that up.
I
Might
have to ask
take-
this dork over here.
Might take 3 or 4 games for NKU to get to 116 points.
It's because we're so good at defense.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we're focused on.
Of course.
Too locked in on that side.
We locked in.
Yep.
Locked them up.
Forget the second half about that one though. Didn't really happen. Did you guys have any sign off notes or anything like that?
Me, I just want to say shout out Alfred Payton playing his first game in 900 days
Yeah.
with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Congratulations on the comeback. That's
Dude.
pretty big.
Who's he playing for?
The Pelicans, who have
Oh, okay.
he's one of the 8.
Is he got the shaved hair or did he grow it back?
The shaved hair, yeah.
Don't even get me started about I don't even know what
The high top,
the
the-
high top.
The Lego puzzle pieces or
The
whatever.
leaning high top.
Yes sir.
That went hard.
Alfred Payton's a guy who could have ended up at the end of the show one of these days.
Oh,
now he's
yeah,
back in
that's
the
real.
NBA,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Future hoop grid legend, some may say.
yeah, low key.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's all I got here.
So yeah, I just wanted to say, with some uncertainty in the air recently, I know you all have probably heard the rumors, all you dedicated fans out there, about what the future could hold for next week. It is a holiday week. Colton, did you just laugh?
No, I would never laugh at all.
You laughing right now?
No, that's Garrett. Garrett
Alright.
did it.
So yeah, with the future being a little,
Hey, it was Garrett again. He's making me laugh. I'll mute my mic.
all right, with the future being a little uncertain, with next week being Thanksgiving and all, I want to spread a message to you all. There comes a point every year in which you meet with all your loved ones. Some you may love more than others, but you don't have to say that. And you meet with them, and if nothing else, you must be able to spread your gratitude and love and thankfulness to them all. Because at some point, those people will be the birds, such as storks, that carried you to your birth, otherwise known as growth within your life. Thank you.
Dante Cunningham.
And that will do it for this episode of the Beyond the Score podcast. Big thanks to NKU Media Services for letting us use the studio. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BT_ then the word score, and YouTube at Beyond the Score 123. For myself, Alex Perez, Matthew Supinger, and director Colton Smith, go check out the Benchwarmers podcast as well. They do great things over there. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Be smooth.